17th,
It'll get towed in.
17th of what?
It took 2
this
months
week.
to get the whole process
Supposed to be
and
right here.
The art project. Is that on the Art in Public Places that came down to the last two, or is that a different
everything.
project?
Right around my
Same
other
thing.
boat. I got
Same
that
thing,
last week,
okay.
so happy with that. Got a 20.
I gotta get somebody to take classes for a little while that night.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah, but it's 5 o'clock in
Got
here.
to turn in my paperwork.
5 o'clock here? Yeah, I got a solo at 5,
Yeah, outside.
and one at 5:30, so I'll get, is it a long evening or an hour or so?
Oh, I have no idea.
We have no idea.
I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of people on the committee, so I imagine
Well
that
worth it.
the more people we have on the committee, the longer it can take.
Of
You know,
course.
One thing, really. So-
Gotcha, okay. I'll see if Zach can take most of those classes for that night.
Good, how are you?
All righty. Okay, it being 6 PM, let us open the November 14th Leisure Services Advisory Board meeting. Since in the absence of Amber, Pam is a voting member tonight, so in that honor, we will let her lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All righty, for our Citizens Open Forum segment, we have Mr. Dave here to spare. We have a little handout from Dave
Good evening.
Chip, so Mr. Dave, welcome.
Good evening. Dave Beinart, 1810 Hibiscus Court South. I'm here in representation of Oldsmar Little League. I'm the city liaison. We have a couple of families who have asked to sponsor batting cages in memorial of their sons. The first one, we were unaware of the proceedings and how the procedures and how we had to go about it, and we happily did what we thought we should do. And when we went to hang the sign, we were informed that that was not how we were supposed to go about doing it, that we needed to come here and speak on behalf and request that. So that's what we're here to officially do. The first one, like I said, we had already done it, so the wording on the sign was the Bryce Arnold Memorial Batting Cage. So we're not sure if that's how it should be phrased or if it should be phrased otherwise. It's a sign, it's easy to remake, that's not a big deal. The second cage, the family has come out, they have donated a large portion of money to take care of that cage. And has also asked that in future, to maintain that, they'd be willing to sponsor us again to continue to maintain that cage. So we're just here to ask permission to do it properly, and we appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Judah?
So Ann, is it our position to approve signage and verbiage, or is it coming through our board to be recommended to council?
Right, so in the resolution, the board reviews the request and then makes the recommendation and then goes to council, and then council would decide whether or not they make the final decision. But of course, they're gonna look for your recommendation as to whether or not they should.
Okay,
And then just as a quick point of order, Oldsmar Little League has been excitedly sharing these opportunities for quite a while now. It's just taken a while to get this paperwork here, and they're a volunteer organization, which is understandable. So if you don't want to stall it any further, if you want to hear it tonight, because it needs to be heard as a regular agenda item, somebody could make a motion to suspend the rules of the day, and then you second and vote on it. Then you're suspending the rules of the day in order to consider this item, and then you could consider it, and then when, after the consideration, you making a recommendation to council, either yea or nay, then you could make a motion to return to the rules of the day. Conversely, if you're not ready, because you've just seen us now for the first time, you could also table the item to the next meeting in February. Just know that that's a few months away, of course, and then it would still have to go through council. And I'm not sure when the next season starts, but the Little League has been waiting for quite a while now.
well, that's playing off of my question though too, this is not a commonality for us to approve signage per se. for outside volunteer organizations, in theory, that are on city property? Is that
part of the
why
name.
it got linked?
No, it's part of the naming resolution because it's naming an area, a thing, an item.
Oh, so it's not
inside.
it's not the signage itself. We're considering the name you'd like to put on the batting cages as a formal.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I was confused.
So the fields are maintained by the city, but the batting cages are actually maintained by us. We have exclusive use on that because of our insurance. So we just assumed when we had done this that it was up to us. We never even considered that we had.
What the
to ask
protocols
permission.
were,
Right.
certainly.
So-
And it's the combination of city property
Right.
versus, yes, that I get. So you're presenting the Bryce Arnold Memorial Batting Cage as for both of them or for one of them?
For one,
Okay.
and then the second one would, depending on what you guys want for the verbiage, if we need to change the verbiage for the first sign, we will be happy to do so, and then follow suit with the second one.
But plans would be the second one to be the same.
Same as the
With
first
another
one.
name in
Right,
there?
Right, for a separate family.
Okay.
We have 4 batting cages, and, it costs, a lot of money to maintain them. So when the family wanted to do something for their son, the second family, they were like, oh, we could do a bench in the park, or, in the park, and we're like, we really don't need another bench, but we really do need a batting cage.
Sure. No, I totally support your need, your reason. I'm trying to confirm for us what our duties are,
Right. No, I
because we've
understand.
never had anything quite like this. And I understand the crossover of private organization versus some city property, and that's part of the reason it's come to us. So basically, to even discuss this or get into this, I guess we need to request, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the orders, I'm sorry.
Suspend the rules of the day in order to consider the item that's been presented.
I make a motion that I'd like to suspend the, I'm never going to remember.
What Ann said.
What Ann said. Suspend the rules, the order that we're doing, in order to consider this.
Second that?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so next, Ann, would be,
Next, you would have the discussion and actually consider the item.
Okay, as the one that has the mouth.
everybody clear on what the
Yeah,
request is?
I have no issues.
I don't see any objection to the Bryce Arnold Memorial Batting Cage and the soon-to-be-named Memorial Batting Cage on the other one.
For Scott, right.
Right.
When the second batting cage is named, is it the same name, or would it be another one have to go through this process again?
Well, no, we're trying to do both of them at this
Okay, oh,
point.
for both,
So
okay.
Can we do
the-
that?
The Bryce Arnold, we jumped the gun and we weren't sure. This time, we're trying to get ahead of the ball.
Okay.
The family just came to us, we just actually started getting the materials in to redo the second one. So we're hoping to get both of them taken care of at the same time.
Okay.
And you said you have 4 batting cages there, right?
Right.
Is there a way that we can discuss, like, if they're gonna do, if they have this situation come up and they have 2 more that come up, are we gonna go through this again for the next batting cage and then the next batting cage? They have 4 batting cages.
Unfortunately, I think they have to go through it formally, if we had, is that correct, Ann? So if they had all 4 tonight, we could approve it.
Okay.
Right now, we're being requested to approve the one that is named with a second one with the same title, except for instead of Bryce Arnold, it would
Scott
be
McMullen.
Scott McMullen,
Right.
okay?
And let's hope that we have no more
Right.
that we need to do
Yeah,
for.
unfortunately, both of these families, their sons grew up in Oldsmar, and they both played Oldsmar Little League. One of our board members' wife, or the wife, her husband played Little League with Scott. And, when the parents came out, we had signs hanging up on there, and he saw the name E-Step. He's like, oh, we had an E-Step coach when our son played. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably the father, and this is the son. And when I said something to Stephen Estep, he's like, oh my God, that was my boy. We grew up together. We played high school
And we've had
ball.
a board member also on here that was very involved with your Little League as well. So we've kept apprised on all the changes and challenges through the years, those of us that have been here for too many years to count especially.
It's,
So next position, any other, is there? I'm the one that has the big mouth, so I talk a lot.
Motion?
I make a motion to,
Hold on,
oh,
so-
we do have some more
Question?
discussion.
Yeah,
Certainly.
These name, I'm sorry, the people that you're naming the batting cages after, are they players that are playing in the league now, or they have played in the league?
They grew up playing Little League. So with,
Scotty McMillan. My son played with the Scotty McMillan in Little League in high school, but he'd be about 37.
Yes.
30.
yeah, that's him.
Did he die?
Yeah.
Sorry to give you the bad news this way, but
Yeah.
I think it's a good memorial for someone right out of the blue
Well,
that knows
my
them.
only concern was what he brought up. Once we get the 4 batting cages named, which they're going to be named eventually somehow,
Well, hopefully
is there going to
not.
be a problem for the city if somebody else comes along and says, well, I want to put my name up on a batting cage too, and there's only 4, or is that going to be the Little League's
You've
problem
only
to
got
handle
so
that?
many to work with.
Yeah, it would be our, we're only doing this because they sponsored the cage. So like with Bryce Arnold, their fundings didn't actually cover all the costs, but the family said in lieu of flowers, they would like donations made to us. So it was a decent amount of money, and we thought it would be a nice way to honor the family. With the second one, like I said, they were like, oh, we'd be happy with a bench or something. We're like, we really don't need a park bench, but we would like a batting cage. So we're only using the opportunity because we have it available. Obviously, we only have 4 batting cages, so we can't do any more than that.
I believe, did they do something in the softball field at one time for Carly Luptak?
Yeah. I don't think we did that. I think that was on the city, but each one of the fields is named after somebody.
Okay.
And I think the case will be that it'll be a blessing to them to have 2 more cages down the road, that if there is unusual circumstances and people are connected with it, that they'll have opportunity to do that. And I think like any memorial, once you see a name up there, it's named. It's not
Right.
like the Lynn Reeves,
Right, it's not a sponsorship.
building. We're not,
Or-
nobody's gonna come
right.
along and all, it's not a sponsorship type of thing. It's a memorial. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, a motion that Ann will properly word.
I would like to make a motion.
Present to city council, yes.
You got it. I would like to make a motion that we consider accepting the signage and the dedication of batting cage 1 to the Bryce Arnold Memorial Batting Cage, and batting cage 2 as the Scott McMullen Memorial Batting Cage, and request that council consider approval of this.
Second?
Second.
Aye. All in favor?
4 seconds. Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay.
Congratulations,
And
and
you will-
when you get those other ones, you're gonna have to come back to us again, but we'll tackle those at that time.
We'll
I'm sorry,
tackle the
sir.
verbiage.
Sir?
He had another question.
I'm sorry to ask you this, but like I said, my son grew up with Scotty and played high school ball with him. How did he die?
I honestly don't remember what the parents said. I know it was unexpected, and it came, whatever it was, happened very fast.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew the mom and dad because I was on the board, the baseball board with him too.
yeah.
Have to do a little research on it, find out what happened. We'll send our prayers to the families, though, and I think the memorials are a nice dedication for them.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to return to the regular scheduled order.
Rules of the day.
Motion.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so be it. All right. Next item, seeing no more folks here for the open forum, approval of the minutes from the August meeting. Packet number 3, page 3 is attached. Comments, corrections, additions, subtractions?
I think Amber did catch one correction on, did she catch a correction on something, or that was on your dates?
Oh, that was on the schedule.
Gotcha, never mind, so,
Motion to approve the minutes from the August meeting? Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so be it. If I could, in light of Suda needing to leave at 6:45, I'd like to jump ahead to item number 5, if I could.
You could suspend the rules of the day, have somebody make a motion to bring up item number 5.
Okay, Motion
May I
to
s-
suspend the rules of the day here.
May I suspend the motion, the rules of the day to move item number 5 forward? That good enough?
Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, all right. Item number 5. I have submitted my letter of resignation to Ann and to City Council.
How many years has that been, Ken?
Effective since 2008.
Do the math, huh?
Yes, do the math. Back to the Parks and Rec Board, and you were on the Arts and what?
Cultural Affairs Board back in those days,
That's
yes.
how long ago that was, so. So in light of that, that's effective tomorrow, submitted to Ann and to City Council. And we need to approve the appointment of, is that correct, Ann? Approve the appointment of Suda moving up to chair?
Yeah, it would
If
be
there are none.
because she is vice chair and she would take your place as chair. It still needs to be ratified by
That's
the
for
board.
next year. It's for the board.
Starting-
So they need
yeah.
to decide whether or not to approve that or to hold an election.
Starting February. Well, I'm honored, and we will miss Ken, and everything will be here with us, but I am honored to accept moving up to chair if the board chooses to.
Any comments, folks? Motion or?
I can't motion my own move,
Right.
guys. Come on, somebody else has got to do it.
Second.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. And as far as the vice chair position, Amber has expressed interest in filling that. Again, that would be just for next year,
Does she need to be present to do anything with it?
unless there are other people interested.
Right, yes,
Is that-
please.
Right, so if nobody else is interested, the board could take a vote now, or if other people are interested, I would recommend to tabling the item to the February meeting.
So,
Anyone else interested in vice
anybody
chair?
interested in charge of being in charge of vice? Or, I'm sorry, vice chair.
I think it's only right. She's been here the longest out of most of us, I think.
Yeah,
We came at the same time, but I'd rather have her do it than.
Yeah. I think we're all in favor of that.
For the most part, you will find I will always be here. Sometimes I do have to leave a few minutes early, and we'll try to make sure that I get people to cover for me while I'm in the chair position, so I appreciate that. And I think Amber will do well.
Agreed.
So a motion for Amber?
Aye.
A motion? Motion?
I motion for Amber to move up, to move up to the vice chair position.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so be it.
Thank you. And we will miss you, Ken, but I will try to fill your big shoes.
Thank you, thank you. My letter stated that it has been a blessing and a heartfelt honor to have served with really good people since 2008.
Now you need a motion to return to the rules of the day.
Now we need a motion to return to for the last time,
Hopefully.
to the regular.
Motion to move to the rules of the day.
Okay, second.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Nobody's opposed. Okay,
Also, and for our protocols, do you also like the hand raising, or can we all just be answering? I noticed most of us were all raising hand for ayes and things like
As long as we
that.
all recognize and just listen, if you're gonna be against something, I need somebody to say, no.
Right, okay. So we don't have to so much worry about raising our hand as long as our voices are heard. Thank you.
all right, back to agenda item number 2, monthly reports, project updates, and upcoming events.
All right, so,
And thank you for Chip, Alexis, and John being here. Thank you.
well, it's certainly been busy since our last meeting because usually, you know, the fall and the spring are our big event seasons. And John and his staff and Alexis and the Parks guys do a great job, and of course, the sports complex. They do a great job of supporting the programs and the events that John's putting together. So we have certainly been busy. Lots of events taking place. I'll highlight some of the events that have taken place. As we all know, we had the Gator Nationals at the beginning of October. We received our report from USA BMX. We had 911 riders, which equates to roughly 12,000 spectators over the course of the weekend. 39 states were represented and 8 countries.
8 countries, yes.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
a wonderful weekend. The track was great, you know,
Guys had a
it
good
was
turnout. I
really-
don't know if
really good
anybody else
turnout,
made it,
really good
but you had a
turnout. Now
really good
that's,
turnout.
and I have to congratulate the staff on their work for that event, the logistics behind that. You know, a lot of that's taken over by USA BMX. We are kind of facilitators to them. They come in, they run the show, but in the background, if you were there, you see us in the parking lot, you see us cleaning up the track, you see us handling the ins and outs, which kind of keep things flowing. So it was a busy weekend, but it was a very, very successful weekend. And we're looking forward to the next event, which will be at the end of February, followed following the state series, the SSA race, which will be the weekend before that. So we are going to have bookend events. I think it's the 17th through the 19th and the 24th through the 27th through the 29th. Yeah, so it's back-to-back weekends, 24th through the 26th. Busy, busy, busy.
Chip, I just want to say, for what you guys did with the track problem we had there was amazing. John, you and your whole staff, everybody from the city did a great job. There was some serious challenges there.
Thank you. And
got it
I'll
done.
kind of expand upon that. You know, we opened the track in July, and we were running, no problems, no issues. We did get a lot. We had 17 inches of rain at the sports complex in August and September. It was unbelievable. Some of the water from the groundwater and so forth kind of seeped underneath of the surface there. It had been there, but we didn't experience the level of ridership. So, you know, you go to the beach and you put your feet in the sand, you start moving your feet around, things start to settle. Well, I think we recognized it on Wednesday. We attempted to repair on Thursday, and then we had to close Thursday afternoon, Thursday night for practice because we had about an 8-foot by 3 or 4 foot opening in the clay right before the first turn. So we excavated the clay out of there. We repacked it, glued it. It dried overnight, and we got the blessing from USA BMX. They said, "Hey, this looks better than some of the tracks we go on anyway, so we're good." And we ran, and it held up through the entire course of the weekend. So
Great.
kudos to the staff.
People don't always realize what goes on in the background to
Yeah.
any event, whether
it's-
somebody's handling it or not.
It's harrowing at times.
Oh, and the PR part of that, you guys handled that real well.
Okay.
You know, there was a lot of negativity at first.
There was a lot of
And
negativity.
you know what? You did it the right way, didn't have to comment, shut it down, and did the right thing, and that was what needed to happen.
Yeah.
Those people chirp a little bit too much.
Well, we figured, we didn't want to close on Thursday for the practices. We knew people were in town. We knew that it's a big event, but our focus was running a 3-day Gator Nationals event. We didn't want to close that Thursday for practice, but there's no way we would have been able to run that race that weekend without doing that. So, all in all, it worked out good in the end. So moving on, we had Sunset Sounds recently. We had 275 at our Sunset Sounds performance. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? We had the Opal performance of Moana Jr., which had 500 plus in attendance. Nice. Another great event from Miss Suda and the Opal Performing Arts League, or the Oldsmar Performing Arts League. Movie in the Park, we had 175, which was Casper
Good
Jr.
numbers,
Casper, yeah, that was a good one. Paul Palooza, 200. Really good numbers. Haunted Happenings. Okay, well, we were probably about 300, and we were there. We opened at 6.
It was chaos, but
It
the
was
way you guys
chaos.
ran it was beautiful. I had no idea. We were trying to figure out how the plan was, but for you guys to, lack of a better term, force the crowd to come in through Candy Cane Lane, as I understand, I felt was a really good plan. It worked really well, and we were obviously mobbed and under-candied.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing you guys had. And then it got rained
Plenty.
out, and my dancers continued dancing Thriller in the rain. They went right on as the rain started coming down and pouring on them, and
It was
So-
unfortunate. We originally had this planned as the drive-through event, like we had done the past 2 years, and
so you only had like a week or two to put it together.
Eric Pavlica and his staff, John and his staff with Eric Pavlica, they were keeping track of the business because we rely on businesses to help with that event, to create scenes, hand out candy, promote themselves. 2.5 weeks out, we just weren't getting the numbers still,
Yeah.
and it's we had to make a decision, and we said let's go to Ariel's Park.
Go
And
back
I
to
tell
what
you
it was, baby. It was good.
Boy,
Yep.
we will be there from now on. Our park staff, I feel bad for them because they put together a great haunted trail.
Yeah, that probably didn't get to get used.
They didn't
did it?
because
rain.
the Pee Wee trail was from 6 to 7.
Which
and
I think
then-
was a good way to do it. As somebody that's experienced these for probably 30 years at at the 2 locations, I
Right.
think that was a really great way to do it.
And then
to
7
break it down.
on, we would do the scarier trail for the older,
Yes,
the older
yeah.
kids. But we never got around to the scary trail at 6:45. it started raining really hard. And by 7:15, we just knew it wasn't going to stop. And
Yeah.
we had unfortunately had to, shut it down and clean up. And
But you had
give
a
our
good
staff
crowd
credit for that.
through prior.
We really did have a good crowd
We
prior
had
to that.
nonstop through Candy Cane Lane, just constant, and like I said, we planned for quite a few and brought a lot of candy, and we ran out, and so I think it was a huge success. I think your format for it was very well. Anybody else able to attend it?
I got there and had to leave.
Okay, yeah, 'cause of the rain.
I got there and
It
I had
started raining.
students showing up,
Raining.
a couple of them showed up right
Right,
before it started to rain.
Right. So, but the staff's very adaptable, so I'm really proud of them for the job they did and, the adversity that they go through. And John and I were talking about it recently. There's been a lot of adversity we've had to go through for some of our events, and the next one is Veterans Day. We had the tropical storm that was coming through, Nicole, and we had to make a decision on Wednesday for a Friday event, and with our tent vendor wasn't able to install the tent on Thursday,
Right.
and that's why
Yep.
if we were able to have a tent, we would have held the ceremony outdoors.
Yeah.
But he can't put it up in tropical storm force winds,
No,
and
no.
there was still a 30 to 40% chance of rain on Friday morning without a tent above everybody and audio equipment and our 300 people in the crowd. We just didn't think it was safe to do it that time.
Sure.
It did rain here at 10, so we would have had some weather, but
Right.
we did have 56 inside. We did it indoors here, but we did have 327 views online
Oh,
during
that's
the event
nice.
that
Yeah.
we had seen
Yeah.
on YouTube, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We look forward to getting back outdoors, obviously.
Yeah, and for those that haven't been in town for a lot of years, Haunted Happenings was always held. Actually, it was also held back at Mobley Bayou
Mobley-
for a
at
few
Mobley,
years.
right, for a few
But
years.
previous to that, it was always held in Ari Olds Park with the Haunted Trail.
Right.
And how many setups of different scenes did you guys have planned for the Haunted Trail for the adults?
There were 8.
That's good. That's a good number. I know there's volunteers. I know the city staff wanted to do it because you've also done it inside the rec center as well.
Right.
So it's seen several locations, but as somebody that's seen it for all these years, I'm happy to see it back at Ari Olds, and I think you guys did a great job. So
Yeah, I think
thank you.
that's definitely the location that we're going to be at for here on.
Yeah.
Yep. One of the there was an event recently that we had the previous weekend. We had a craft beer festival over here in the City Hall lot. That's one of our third party. It was through the Holiday Sharing Fund and the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. So that was very successful. They had about 1,000 people in attendance.
At
for that.
$65 a head, I understand.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go in to support, but I don't drink beer, so unfortunately, they didn't get my $65 either. And we even went at the end. So they were trying to push everybody out by that time, and why 1 to 5 for beer drinkers?
That's
Besides to send them all home drunk or send them on to the bar.
in talking to the staff who were on that day, he said that was probably the perfect timing because everybody was happy with the event. There was no trouble, no issues. We did have Pinellas County Sheriff's Department officers on that
Right.
duty. So,
And I figured some of
well.
them have to go back and run their businesses Saturday night and stuff like
Sure.
that too, or Friday
And
night, yeah.
It's not a party atmosphere; it's more of a tasting atmosphere. So.
Oh, it was a
worked out-
party
well,
atmosphere, but yeah.
but it worked out well. It did. It
Yeah,
did.
I thought you had a good turnout for that, and like I said, it would have been nice to go in and support it. Maybe we'll add to them in the future if you have somebody that doesn't drink, they have a wristband or something?
They did have a designated driver ticket, which
Oh,
was
okay.
much less expensive. It was, I think, $25, and you
Oh,
got free
okay,
water
well,
and
when
soda
I
and
came up
drinks and stuff.
30 minutes to the end of the event, the lady was just like, we're trying to get everybody out of here, we're
Yeah.
closed, nobody's coming in. I was like, okay.
Yeah, so they did offer a designated driver ticket. So.
Okay, good, that's
yeah.
good to know for
Yep.
future, thank you.
And then finally, we had the talent show last weekend with about 200 in attendance. Heard that went very well. Really, really busy time. And I just have to say, over the course of, and we had 2 of them. We had a hurricane, and we had a tropical storm, right in the middle of our event season. And the staff were resilient. They were adaptable, and like I said, I'm really proud of the way they handled the adversity and really kept things moving. So that's kind of it on the back end of the monthly report. On the upcoming side,
Just briefly?
yes.
The talent show, John and Chip, I'll meet with you guys about the various challenges we had and see if we can help head those off for the future.
Sure.
Okay, I didn't know,
Sounds
did I see you there, Chip, or
No.
you weren't able to be there? I know John was challenged with it through the whole time, and our sound guy had some challenges.
Yeah, I
and-
heard about the sound guys.
Yeah, so.
We'll check.
We'll work on those challenges for the
Okay.
future. Thank you.
Sounds good.
It was a great show, great talent, and a good turnout, so.
Some of the upcoming events we have, Celebrate Oldsmar is this weekend. Fireworks on Saturday night, so make sure that you are out there for the one of the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Or running a booth at the
Or running
entire
a booth,
event and
yes,
having no
yep, yep,
time to
yep.
take a break. It's all good.
Exactly, exactly. We have the tree lighting ceremony coming up on Tuesday, November 29th.
Question.
Okay, yes.
You putting just the school choruses on that?
Yes,
Okay.
it's Forest Lakes Elementary School.
Okay. Next year, we hope to have Oldsmar Community Chorus running, and we would like you guys to consider if that's a spot that maybe they could sing a song or two. That's volunteers of Oldsmar putting together that community chorus that'll be seen at Christmas
Sure,
Wonderland.
we can talk.
Yes, thank you.
Let's see, we have Winter Wonderland coming up Friday, December the 2nd. We have the food truck rally again on the lot over here next to City Hall. That's December 3rd and 4th. We have breakfast with Santa Saturday, December 10th, and we have the golf cart parade also on Saturday, December 10th. Additionally, right now taking place, and I'll put a plug in for Opal, is we have auditions taking place for Mary Poppins Jr. Make sure you get online, check that out, and see if, audition.
Yep.
That's what I would say,
November
just
28th and the
went out and
workshop's on the 26th.
Yep.
Roll right into the next one.
And our project updates, again, the major project that we're working on, that we've been working on, has been the baseball field renovations. As of now, the field renovations themselves are complete. We're in the process of working with a vendor on our scoreboards. Staff have been installing 3 new sheds out there for storage purposes. We do have some restroom renovation projects that we're going to do in that area as well. But the scoreboards are the final main piece of the puzzle. We've got to work on procurement of those, and we are talking to a vendor now, and actually have a meeting with our administrative services director tomorrow to talk about that. So we're moving forward on that project. And the last thing I have for projects coming up is tomorrow is the last day to comment on the public art project at the Oldsmar Sports Complex. Go to myoldsmar.com. You can check the link from there and put your suggestions in or your vote in.
How's the feedback been on that?
I don't have access to that data. It's through Communication Marketing and Arts, but
We all got it, so I was curious.
Okay.
as to what the feedback
How many
was.
have had a chance to do some feedback on it?
I
Good,
have.
Yeah, if you haven't, please do.
I did.
I thought because I've been on the committee working on it as well, I thought the artwork that was submitted, the final 2, because I thought there was 3, but I guess we got 2. Both are beautiful pieces. But I did put in my comments, I felt it needs to say Oldsmar somewhere. I felt like it needs to have, you need to not know it's a photo at any state or any ballpark or any city so I encourage that maybe the artist could look at just taking the same concept, but bringing Oldsmar into it. Even the word Oldsmar would help, because right now, even the wings, which are beautiful, you take a photo in front of that and send it to somebody somewhere, they don't know where you're at, we don't have anything that tells that it's Oldsmar. So that was my comments, but I thought we got a lot of there was like 50 submissions, I believe. So I think there was a lot of good that was going on with that. And then one more question, any project updates just in a general, and I think I know the answer to this, on the property next to the library?
I don't have the answer to that question.
Okay, I understand we're moving forward. Or has it stalled again? That's what I was questioning. I've heard both sides, and I was trying to find out if
Yeah,
anybody
I would have to
knew.
defer that to planning and redevelopment to have the actual, true
Okay.
answers for you.
Okay, all right. So, I'll call some others. Okay, thank you.
Thank
You
you,
know that
Chip.
we're selling the property next to the library, correct? Everybody's familiar with that situation, right? And that hopefully it will include a theater in the future as well. So, I understand it's slowly moving forward, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. Thank you, Chip.
Thank you, Chip. All righty. Leisure Services Learning Moment.
All right. So I wanted to take the opportunity, since I did mention previously that we did go through 2 storms here, Hurricane Ian and then Tropical Storm Nicole. And, in leisure, as a city employee, we all take the responsibility of having to work during an event for a storm. If you're a full-time employee, you're pretty much assured that you're not going to be with your family. You're going to be hunkered down somewhere, and you're going to be preparing to serve the community and get the community back on their feet after an event occurs. So I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what actually takes place in leisure services when an event like this happens. So, as I mentioned, first and foremost, we need to respond to the needs of the community after an event to get everybody back up and running, make sure everybody is kind of restore a sense of normalcy is basically what we're trying to do. And for example, in leisure services for an event such as Hurricane Ian, or we didn't, luckily for Tropical Storm Nicole, it wasn't as severe, so we didn't have to worry about that too much. But for example, our park staff, they roll down all the windscreens that are on the fences throughout the city. They remove trash cans from all of the parks. They secure picnic tables and other amenities that might fly around during an event. Tie down swings, just about anything that can fly or flutter, we're tying things down. So the parks guys spend their time the days before preparing for that. Facility staff, who is also in leisure services, they check all of the generators in the city. They prepare the storm shutters. They clean up the municipal services yard of all of the materials that could fly around. Obviously, if you've been to municipal services, you know our yard has a lot of materials in it, so it's a lot of stuff that needs to be moved. They prep the small tools and equipment. They gather the generators. They gather all the large equipment. This time around, we transported some of the first push debris equipment removal, like front end loaders, things like that. We staged over at Meese Hospital in their parking garage and in their parking lot over there to get it to higher ground. We also transported all of our city vehicles to the garage over at Nielsen. That's where our EOC is located. So a lot of logistical moving of people and equipment to make sure that those things are on high ground and they're readily available once the storm passes. Let's see, recreation staff, John and his staff are responsible for food service, which you might think, okay, that's an easy thing, food service, but it's actually one of the hardest things to do prior to the storm. I mean, purchasing food for over 100 plus people for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, storing it, setting a schedule, having that prepared, serving that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in that regard for staff as they stay overnight and then extend it into the next day for another overnight shift, which we have to be prepared for. So they did all the cooking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They did an outstanding job. And really, they don't get to sit down because once they finish breakfast, they're cleaning up and they're preparing for the lunch. And once they prepare the lunch and they clean it for lunch, they're preparing for the dinner. So, that was for over 100 plus staff at the last event. Facility staff transports EOC materials, which are Emergency Operations Command. They take TVs, office equipment, cots, mattresses, refrigerators, freezers, food, etc. All that's transported to Nielsen and dropped off and set up inside. And then, of course, afterward, that's brought back. During the operations, Alexis and myself, we act as the logistics section chiefs, which means we are responsible for handling the requests for resources such as chainsaws, front-end loaders, fire trucks, personnel, things like that. When those requests come from the operations staff from the field, it's our job to find those things and put requests in to obtain those things so that we can support our city staff that are here. So there's a lot of planning and a lot of response that's taken place to the situation that's actually happening out in the field. Following the event, our teams go back out. City facility staff assess damage of city buildings, any safety concerns. Some of our leisure services staff, they transfer over to the public works with the public works staff under operations, and they will handle debris on the first push. So they're clearing roads with front end loaders so that emergency vehicles can get through. Luckily, we didn't have that this time, but that's some of the role that they take on. And then, of course, the staff here continue to provide internal services to support the function of the unit itself. And then after that, after we clear and everything, we get back out into the parks, try to get things back to normal as quickly as possible, cleaning debris and making things usable again. Again, just trying to reestablish a sense of normalcy after events like that. So it's very stressful. Again, our staff are leaving their families at home.
I'm going to compliment staff because I talked to Jody to make sure, Brian's wife, to see if she needed to come somewhere with the kids because I knew Brian was on lockdown, so to speak.
Right.
Many people not realize that your staff, and Nielsen, this is the first time using them for this, I understand?
Second.
Second? Oh,
Second.
second time,
Yeah.
okay. Has been a much better place for you guys to be locked down in.
Yes.
And I saw a photo, I think, that floated on Facebook or something of everybody in lockdown. So yeah, they're leaving their families and everything to be there and be on call for us. And so in my case, I reached out to somebody that I knew was on lockdown to try to offer help to the rest of the family. And we all count our blessings that we missed not a bullet, but a mortar. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So anyway, that's just kind of an idea of what we actually go through. And again, during the event season, nonetheless, it's, we had Hurricane Ian, and then the week after that was Gator Nationals. So the week we would have been preparing for Gator Nationals, we
You were
were
shut down,
preparing and
yeah.
shut down and doing our Hurricane Ian stuff. So that really put a big stress on the staff coming back in
Right, right.
and getting Gators Nationals going. So that's it.
Compliments to staff.
I know you didn't share that for a pat on the back, but.
No, no, no,
Compliments
no,
to
we didn't. We did not.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you. Okay, item number 4, we have our 2023 board meeting schedule. Second Mondays, February, May, August, November. They are for your calendar
Motion?
marking.
Do we need a vote and motion or just for our notes?
I like motions.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the provided schedule of February 13th, May 8th, August 7th, and November 13th of 2023 as our meeting schedule.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it.
And I will wait one more year to go back and bug everybody about us meeting more often.
Okay, moving on to item number 6. We need a recommendation to send Pam to city council to become a full member as opposed to alternate number 1 in light of my resignation. And that would also move Steve up to number 1. Would that be included in the,
Yes, he would go from
The
alternate 2
recommendation?
to alternate 1, and then, of course, at the February meeting, we would be interviewing for a replacement for Kim.
yes? Motion?
Make a motion that we move Pam up to board member position and that we move Steve up to alternate position 1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it. Thank you.
You're done. You're in.
Also, in connection with that item, Ann, is there an issue with the teen members as far as age and,
Oh, and I know
was
this,
gonna say
tonight's
Devin.
Devin's last meeting, and,
Aw.
he's, aging out, but also moving on and growing up.
old timer?
Aging out is more the issue though,
And
so.
with Mr. Jackson?
And Jackson's term ends in December, and I'm trying to confirm with him what his birth date is, because once you're 18, you're done.
So in theory, we may have 2 teen positions open. Is that correct?
Actually, I'm still in the process of confirming for.
Once you
Jackson,
confirm. Okay, you keep us posted and then I guess our next meeting, and beyond me saying to everybody, talk to the teens around you and encourage people to get involved.
What are the age
Yes,
limits for the
I was gonna
teens?
ask.
It's basically,
Like high school, as long as they're in high school?
yeah, we prefer high school, 15, 16, and
Okay.
then 18.
Mr. Devon, any comments you would like to share?
You're hiding under your hat, dude.
Yes.
I know you're always hiding.
Use the microphone. There.
I'm always hiding under
Or a Shrek costume, one or the other.
Comments?
So I'm gonna graduate in the spring and also gonna have my associate's degree
Great.
That's awesome.
and get out of here.
And where are you heading to college at?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay, still looking for options.
Probably Tallahassee, FSU.
Okay, I was up at Gainesville. Yeah. We got good colleges in Florida. You got lots of great options.
For you.
Thank you for your service.
And we wish you all the best. Thank you, Devin.
Amen. Okay, item number 7, new business. Anybody?
The only items was the ones on Amber, and I saw we're moving those to the next meeting, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct, okay. I didn't have anything.
Anybody
On
have
the
any
talk
new-
so much, didn't
new
have
items?
anything.
Board comments?
Compliments to staff, compliments on the events. Our promotion is doing better and working. I know we're working together as well to really get the word out about some of our programs. So for the most part. Oh, and prayers for whatever Leonard's going through. Yes. So. I make,
Anna, you want to start down there? Any?
Board comments?
Yes.
I don't have anything, but I praise you guys again. I mean, back-to-back storms. It was some stressful times for, I think, all Oldsmar residents. So I could only imagine what you guys went through, and thank you guys. I mean, everyone that we talked to was on point, and thank you guys, because we kept in touch with the majority. So it was really nice to
have the community, you know, just filling each other in. We texted the mayor a couple times, and he assured us, you know, that you guys were doing everything, and we just wanted to, you know, whatever we could help with as residents, we wanted to know, make sure that you guys know that we're here. So, thank you guys.
Ken?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you for all you've done for us in the city. Put a lot of time into it and efforts into it. Just want to say thank you. So,
Same as him. Thank you for everything you've done for us, showing us kind of the way here. Some of us are new and lost.
We'll find our way through.
We're finding our way through, thanks to you. And I think Suda's gonna fill that role nicely.
Same, thank you for everything you've done, and again,
Welcome.
newbies like watching what you do.
You guys can handle it.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service over the years. You still going to be local, or
Oh, absolutely.
then we will still see you, and we look forward to seeing you at events and other things.
Got it.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Anything else, guys?
As far as meeting you for 2 times, I thought you.
I will just throw in a quote here, one of my favorite quotes, really for Devin and Jackson, and really for all of us, but especially for the younger people. This is attributed to both Edward Everett Hale, who was a relative of Nathan Hale. He was a minister and abolitionist, and also attributed, I guess they can't figure out who actually said it, also attributed to Helen Keller, who had her own issues. And the quote is, "I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do."
Nicely done.
Carry on. Carry on. Keep up the good work, guys. Motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn our meeting?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
So be it.